Alright guys, sorry for the no video Tuesday, and if you're seeing this next week, I'll try to actually upload this tonight, but it's Sunday, July 6th. So we are looking at the aftermath of what's happened to my yard here. In the previous video, I said I sprayed at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I sprayed azoxy, TM 4.5, and mefenoxam. You can see in the video, you've seen some tip burn, but honestly, I'm starting to think this might be something else. It's not gray leaf spot, so I'm actually starting to think this might be either anthracnose or pythium root rot, because it's just little spots like this. And if I was spraying, there is bigger spots of it. If I was spraying and it burned everything, which it basically did have a tip burn on everything out in the sun, but something else is going on for sure. So if you see this right here, this is, it's dead. It's gone. There's no coming back. I've honestly never seen anything like this on fescue other than pythium, some kind of root rot. Now granted, I have raked this. I have spent the whole week, July 4th week, raking. It looks even worse since I've raked it. It's discolored. You can see all the stuff that I've raked out of these spots. I have raked, and it's all down through there. It's everywhere. I've got a complete mess. So, but I don't know. I don't know. It's not heat stress. I know some of you guys said it's heat stress. There's no way it's heat stress. This is fully irrigated, and it's rained a freaking ton. It hasn't rained any in the past week and a half, but up to this, it rained 3 inches in 2 days. Right before this happened. So, it's not heat stress. It's some kind of disease. It's definitely not gray leaf spot. There was a little bit of gray leaf spot in a few spots, but there's no lesions or anything on this. So there's no mycelium. So, I'm starting to think, honestly, it's probably some pythium root rot going on, just because it's been so hot and the soil's been saturated. You wouldn't see any kind of mycelium typically with pythium root rot. Pythium blight, yes. But, I sprayed mefenoxam on this. But if it's pythium root rot, a foliar spray of mefenoxam, it ain't gonna cut it. It's not gonna do anything for it. That's something that needs to be watered in, because that is a soil-borne disease. Pythium root rot is, and again, it's bad. It's worse since I've raked it, but we'll just have to see what happens. I feel like I failed you guys, but there's just nothing I can do. I've done basically all the apps, except I didn't water in that app because I haven't seen much of that in fescue. But when it's been 95 and 98 degrees, it typically don't rain like it's rained. So again, in the shady areas, there's nothing, and that's what is just baffling to me. You would think this would stay wetter, but I think it's because of the heat and the sun is what's created this, whatever this disease is. It's just out in the full sun, and I've checked it with moisture levels. All these spots that's bad are wet. It's not anything dry that's causing this. They're they're all super wet spots. I mean, you can see it right here some. I've raked all this. There's just not much else I can do for it. So here's a little example. You know, and I've seen, I'm pulling this stuff up, and it just looks, down in there, it just looks greasy. It just looks greasy. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And there's no root structure to any of these spots. I mean, it's completely, it just pulls up with ease. So, I think it's Pythium root rot, and you know, I did not apply the mefenoxam correctly for this. There was a little bit of gray leaf spot right here, but I actually think that's going to heal up pretty good. It's just some of these bigger spots like this right here. I mean, it, you know, that's probably a goner right there. And I've raked all this out trying to get as much of this crap out as I can get out. You can see it right there, but again, you go into the shadier areas, it just makes no sense to me why there's absolutely nothing. And this is not full shade. I mean, it's filtered sun all throughout the day, so it's not like it's, you know, not getting any sun. But as soon as you get out into the full sun, it basically turns to crap. And you can see it all. It's just, I just don't know. I've never seen anything like this. I'll be completely honest. I don't know. I don't know what you would call this. I mean, you can see, like right there's a spot. I just think it's some kind of root rot, which will be Pythium root rot. And there's some tips that's still burnt from the spray. So what I done yesterday, which was Saturday, is I went out and sprayed another round of mefenoxam. It was 14 days. Another round of mefenoxam, another round of azoxystrobin, and I watered that in this morning, like really good. So we'll see what happens. And then today I'm going to be spraying another round of TM 4.5 over top of this. Obviously TM 4.5 would be a foliar application, so that's why I'm doing it again today, going over top of it tonight, and I won't be watering it in. And I have changed brands on the TM 4.5. So you can see that right there. It just looks greasy looking. Water soaked, damp. That's just telling me that it's probably some kind of Pythium root rot, in my honest opinion. Wouldn't think you would see that basically in a whole yard, but I don't know. You know, when it rained 3 inches in about 3 days, you know, it was mid to upper 90s when this happened. And this side over here is the same way. With the nutsedge, it's the same way. I just actually haven't raked any spots on this, so it doesn't look as bad as this. I probably shouldn't have raked these spots, to be honest with you, but I was trying to fix it and get all that brown and yellow out, and it actually started, you know, it kept getting a little bit worse. So that's why I think it's some kind of disease that's caused this. It started with the tip burn, and then it turned into whatever this is. Could it be because it's stressed out in the sun and stress from the tip burn? You know, that possibly had something to do with it. If your grass is stressed out, it's more prone to other things. So Oh, I tell you, that is a busy development. I'm gonna hide behind this tree. I do not like people sitting here watching me film this, hollering, so. But it's bad. So hopefully, maybe it'll heal up. I do need rain now. It has not rained in about a week and a half. So obviously when you want it to rain, it don't rain. And when you don't want it to rain, it rains an absolute ton. So and I'll take you, I ain't going back down there. There's more coming here. So Kentucky bluegrass, it's full of nutsedge too. But I honestly think, I mentioned this right here was from spraying. I don't think that's spraying. I think it's some kind of root rot also. This around the corner or around the edge, because the water runs off the driveway and it puddles here. And it done it with the fescue. Just the fescue was up here, so it done the same thing. The Kentucky bluegrass is handling the heat fine, other than whatever this is. And the dollar spot's took care of. It's just gonna have to heal up. This is gonna have to heal up, if it will. But that's what that is. There's no doubt it's the water that's causing this. It's hitting the edge and it's just staying right there, because when you get on out further in here where the water don't run off the driveway, it's not like this. So, and I will go down here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Like bad cases of Pythium root rot. It's mixed all into the nutsedge here, but it does it every single year. And I think, I said this was because of rocks, but I just don't think it is anymore, because I go back and think about this, how wet it's been. There's just no way. There's none of this is turned blue and stressed out from water. So this is, these are bigger spots of this. Yeah, there's the nutsedge. These are bigger spots of this, and the water runs down the driveway, and I think it stops right there because the driveway goes downhill and it slopes this way. So if you look at this, and it does it every single year that it rains a ton. If you look at this, look, it just pulls right up. There's nothing there. It's got an orangish hue to it. I've come out here before I watered this morning and checked it, and it's just soaking wet. The soil's just soaking wet. But, I had to water in this mefanoxam. So, it's in bad shape. It's nothing to do with the products. It's nothing to do with the grass seed. It's totally got to do with me not doing the correct application based on the weather that we had. I should have totally been watering in the mefanoxam for this. Possibly even the oxystrobin. And I should have been spraying TM 4.5 earlier than what I started, to be honest with you. It's hard to do this because life gets in the way. I do it on a 14-day schedule. To be completely honest with you, and this is my honest opinion, I'm sure folks are going to disagree with this, but in my honest opinion, on fungicide applications, something like azoxystrobin and propiconazole, you're better off to water those in and do a soil application versus something like TM 4.5 for gray leaf spot. It needs to be applied foliar. Soil diseases, you need to water in your fungicides. Foliar diseases, you need to let them sit. You still need the volume to get them down to the crown, because if they're systemic, they only work up. through the plant. They don't work down. So I don't know, you know, TM 4.5 is supposed to be XMS systemic, which is xylem mobile, which it moves up in the plant. I don't know why it says to leave it on the leaf and let it dry, but it's what it says on the label, and that's what I try to do on that. But obviously, if you're spraying some kind of iron with azoxystrobin or mefenoxam, you're gonna have to let it sit. If I wasn't super busy and didn't want to just absolutely destroy my grass with my sprayer, I would probably be doing these applications on a 7-day basis. I would do my soil applications. 7 days later, I do my foliar applications. So my soil applications will be watered in. My foliar applications will be set to dry. Spray on a 7-day rotation, and it's going to equal out to 14 days. So spray my soil applications, and then come back and spray my foliar applications, if that makes sense what I'm trying to say. But it's hard to do that when you got you know, another job, and you know, you guys got kids and stuff. It don't work out like that, and it don't work out for me either. I mean, I have another job, and you know, I ship products. That's not my other job. That's a side job for you guys. So I ship those products, I make these videos, and I try to take care of my yard, and I have to mow my mom's yard. I've got 3 acres, actually more than 3 acres I have to mow. I mean, you got my grass, and then you got the rest weeds, which, you know, mine's got weeds in it too right now, but it is what it is. It's just too hot to fool with it. But anyway, I just wanted to give an update and my thoughts on this. There was no doubt there's tip burn. I mean, I showed it in the video. I mean, you can't have the tips bleached out and then the rest of the grass be green on the bottom of the blade. So something burned it, and it was, you know, my fault for spraying it early in the morning. I thought I was being safe, but it just got too hot. So today, when I spray my other application, TM 4.5, it's gonna be about 8 o'clock tonight, and that's what I done yesterday with the azoxystrobin and mefenoxam. So, gonna give that a shot and see if we can't get some of this healed up a little bit better. I think if it would rain some, it would have a lot better chance. I did apply some 2900 through the fertigation. I went down with about 0.2 pounds of N to try to get this growing and recovering a little bit. I didn't want to do a whole fast release because it's so hot. Even though watering it in, it probably wouldn't have had an issue with it, but I don't have any 1834 on hand right now, so all I got is 2900. But anyway, I apologize. It looks like crap, but it happens. I mean, when it's this hot and this humid, I would never expect to have a perfect yard. I've never had a perfect yard to begin with, but I would never expect to have nothing that don't get messed up when it's 95 and 98 degrees and all that rain. It's just a bad situation with all that rain. There's nothing that replaces it, but it can be very detrimental to your grass, and you can see what can happen. So I'm sure I'm not the only one. You know, I've seen several years Pete's basically had to redo his, and it just happens. It's nothing Pete's done. It just happens. There's nothing you can do. If you don't get the right applications timed at the right time, it's a bad situation. And Pete's a very, very, very busy man, just like me, and he's got another life, and it's hard to do everything 100% when you're solely not focused on your yard at home. So don't forget, if you want any of these products, it's primetimefescue.com. The Apex seed, it's getting ready to get hot here. People start buying seed. I will show you this again. I can't say anything about the Apex seed because this spot that I seeded, I've showed it to you a million times, but I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's in the sun right now. Gotta find it here. Can't hardly see it right now. I think it's right here, but there, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this whatsoever. So it's not the grass seed, it's the person that's applying it, or a person that done the applications, which is me. I screwed it up by not doing the correct applications. So that's all I got. So I hope you guys had a good 4th of July. Sorry again I didn't release a video, and if this don't release today, Sunday the 6th, you'll see it Tuesday. We'll try to get back on track. Just not a lot of content to film right now. I mean, I don't think you guys want to see me working on garbage, but it is what it is. If I can keep what I got and get it healed up a little bit, it won't be too bad. Maybe just a few little spot seeding instead of a whole overseed, but we'll just have to see what happens. It could get worse. So appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Let me add this in here also. I apologize to add this in, but you know, I know some of you guys are going to say, well, I thought the polyphosphate was supposed to, you know, help prevent Pythium. Well, it does, but it's just the preventative. I've explained this a million times. Just because you get the flu shot don't mean you can't get the flu. And under these conditions that I had, 95, 98 degrees with that much rain, you know, it's extreme. The conditions are extreme. So had I not been applying the phosphate, it could be worse than what it is. You know, the phosphate, there's all kinds of scientific research for you folks that like scientific research about that, for it suppressing Pythium and stuff. So it suppresses it. It's just like a preventative fungicide. You know, on any fungicide label, it says under high disease pressure, use the higher rate at the shortest interval, which meaning days, the shortest amount of days per the label. So, you know, as far as the phosphate, I was only running 3 ounces per 1,000. There is a higher rate of that, but again, you know, I went out with the mefanoxam because I knew the conditions were really, really bad. I just didn't apply the mefanoxam correctly for the root rot deal, for the soil. So, I mean, it's totally my fault. So I just wanted to clarify that. You know I got some folks on here that got different accounts, make different accounts up just so they can comment and be smart butts, but you know, it could be worse than what it is. Most of this, I think, again, is going to heal up. I mean, it's just like this spot right here. I mean, there's plenty of grass that's surrounding this. You know, once some of these other blades make newer leaves, it'll fill some of this in. So, but I just wanted to clarify that as far as the phosphate and stuff goes. Yeah, I'm going to continue using it, and I advise you folks to use it also. That has been scientifically proven, and there's research about it. So keep applying it and do the best you can, and if something happens like this, it is what it is, guys. So just wanted to add it in there. Appreciate you watching.